Shade Tree Mechanic Bungee Man again. Here's where it would be great for me to have an assistant, because that outer shim just keeps falling off. But I'll do my best all alone. So in preparation, get my right hand with this, or whatever your dominant hand is, with the bolt. Identify where the steering knuckle bolt is, remember that. Identify on your torque plate assembly here, which is the correct bolt hole, not that one over there. And just kind of try to slide it on, and I can already see that this pad on the outer side is a little too far in, so I just adjusted it a little bit. There we go. Nice and easy. Now, try to see what's getting in the way, and that is the bottom mounting bolt. Once we thread this top bolt, we're home free. And that's in there for about not totally, but to where it's secure. It's now hanging freely. And leave it loose. Don't tighten it right now, because you gotta make it work with the bottom bolt too. And that wasn't actually threading for a little while, it was just spinning on the surface. But I shifted it a little tiny bit. There we got it. Here's where we'll get our long breaker bar and consult your manual for the correct torque, or if you're like me and your torque wrench is a little long to fit in there, then just fly by the seat of your pants and just make sure you get it plenty tight. And I'm going to switch back to my short wrench for the early stage tightening. Ratchet, because it's ratchet. It's ratchet wrench. Switch it to tighten. There we go. And the bottom one. And now back to Mr. Big. And I think that ought to be good. Double check. Make sure you don't see any gaps between the steering knuckle and the torque plate. And I think we're good to move on to the caliper. So for now, unhook Mr. Faithful bungee up here. Again, be sure to remember which way this faces. Piston on the back for me. Make sure that none of your shim plates fell off in the process. and just try to slide it back on. And you may need the services of Mr. Bungee again briefly. While we figure out what's keeping this from fitting. Of course, we got our thicker brake pads. And it's looking like we're going to have to compress this cylinder, or this piston, back even a little more in its bore. So that'll be a combined effort of Mr. Bungee, if he would be so kind. And make sure again that clamp, or that hose, doesn't get too kinked. So him and Mr. Clamp and here we'll have to be super thoughtful and super gentle. But the general idea, if I can make it visible without kinking that hose too bad, is get that piston, that's by my right thumb. Can you see that at all? I'm having a hard time telling. But yeah, right here, put the C-clamp on him and try to scooch him back. Shade Tree Mechanic Benji Man coming at you again. Finally did get my smaller C-clamp working together with that cardboard shim, because we're talking about fragile rubber, semi-fragile rubber gaskets or seals surrounding that metal piston. Pushed it back just enough to get a very snug fit. I was kind of shocked, even after I was all the way back in its bore. Still a very snug fit, and I had to be very careful edging it over the metal of those shims so that it didn't tear the rubber boot. So, but now I've tightened the two caliper bolts, and now all that remains is to use this lug nut for what it's actually going to be used for. Put this tire back on, and yes, I am propelled by cookies. Cookie propelled individual fuel propelled vehicle. So thank you, and see you later.